Welcome back to the Backrooms TCG YouTube channel. I'm Corey, and today I wanted to talk a bit about strategizing and using strategy in the Backrooms TCG. So you'll find in our game that there are many ways to go about winning or losing a game, and many options and choices you have at your disposal. Rooms are a great example of this. Whenever you're navigating through the Backrooms, you want to be aware of the card count score, the navigation points, and the sanity cost for each room, and use those to your advantage as much as possible. If you know you have a strong entity on the field of play that once you engage, it's going to take, for example, 2 from your deck in hand each action round, and you're going to want to make sure that your deck in hand is sufficient enough to engage that entity. Same thing goes for rooms like False Wall, for example. You know that you're going to want to use this to escape the field of play, but it's only going to give you 2 cards from the pull pile, but then you have to spend 5 from your deck in hand. It's an easy way to lose by decking out from your deck in hand. So False Wall is a very powerful card that can be used to strategize and escape a sticky situation, but you also have to be prepared to use it. Items are another key factor when trying to win this game. You want to note that you only have the 4 inventory slots, and if your inventory gets full, you will have to discard an item. So sometimes it's smarter to leave these items onto the field in chances that you may come back and encounter the item and be able to pick it up at a later time. So sometimes it's smarter to leave things onto the field and come back to them rather than pick everything up right as you need it. This brings me to another point of using conceal items to your advantage and not always using attack items. Sometimes it's going to be smarter for you to use snooze shrooms or death moth jelly to get past an entity that you are not ready to engage, or that, for example, maybe you already have the gem and you're just looking for an escape. Using these items, I think, are very key. Also, being smart about when and how you use these items on what entities is very key. You don't want to, for example, use death shrooms, which does 6 damage on a lost agent who only has 1 health. And then later you may run into Suchi-Gung-Wo, who has that 5 health, and you need that to be able to defeat that later. So it's smarter to attempt to use maybe a consumable or something like Dum Gum that will immediately discard it. Using companions will take up a spot in your inventory, so this adds another layer of strategy that you have to consider when moving through the Backrooms. Your inventory is now down and limited to 3 spots instead of the normal 4. So you have to be very careful on which items you decide to pick up and use and when. This brings me to my next point of engaging entities and when you should. Sometimes it's not always smart to engage the entity that's on the field, and it's better to continue to move and build up your deck in hand or your inventory until you're ready to engage that entity. Sometimes your sanity might even be too low to be able to engage and then use an item like death shrooms in tandem. So that may take your sanity down 12 points immediately on that first engagement. Other things to consider, especially with the party goer deck, is the amount of party goers on the field. That also affects your sanity each round. You're going to want to take certain rooms to buff that sanity back up, or use items like Death Moth Jelly to supplement that lost sanity. Paying attention to how the board is set up is very key as well. If you notice maybe you have an entity that is across from a permanent fixture, leave them there and wait till you can have Hopper Device and use that to your advantage. Or using the permanent fixtures to your advantage period on the field of play is possible. Certain friendly entities will have certain requirements that need to be met for them to have a positive engagement with you. Like Grolix, for example, your sanity needs to be below 10 for him to treat you in a friendly manner and give you an item from the pull pile. If your sanity is too high, he's just going to take one of your items and hide it back. So if you can afford to not engage him I would do that, unless you're trying to engage him for his Pay Night gem. I think strategy overall in this game is very important, to always be trying to think 2 or 3 steps ahead rather than just one, because you are definitely working towards a larger goal rather than just making it to your next room or defeating that next entity. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.